Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Capital Improvement Committee, first meeting of the new fiscal year, September 20th, 2022. Our liaison is not here tonight, and one member, Kim Stacy Horn, is not here tonight. Even with Kim gone, we have a quorum, so our meeting will go on. Now, without any ado, welcome. And it's time, every year we should elect a chairman, a vice chairman, and a secretary. So, do I have a nomination for a chairman?
I nominate you.
I second it.
All in favor? Thank you. We need a vice chair in case there's a day that I can't be here to run the meeting. So,
I suppose I'll take up the mantle again.
all right, I nominate Wayne.
I second it.
All in favor? Very good. And again, we should technically have a secretary. We've discussed this last year.
Who did we have last year?
We didn't. We had we have the film as our minutes, which I understand is legal. I do take notes, and from those notes, I share them with you. I don't think I want to call myself the secretary, though. I just take notes from watching the meeting, if that's okay with everybody.
That's fine.
Okay. Going on, if you look at the stack of papers in front of you, under the agenda, you will see the annual report. I don't know if either of you recall, the first year we started, we were excused from doing an annual report.
Yes, because we hadn't been
Exactly.
established yet. Yep.
Right. And I actually, when they started asking for these again, I let it slide. I didn't, pick up on it. So I did, I got a gentle reminder, and I turned in this, which is basically what we had on the report we submitted to the selectmen at the end of last year, that you also, this is simply the Reader's Digest version of that. Just who we are, what we did, who was on the committee, who's not, just as it shows. So, now one of the things we have to do is decide who's going to be the liaisons this year. Now, last year, I had the school with Dennis Long and the rec department, and I had the school with him on warrant and finance. I'm also the school liaison for warrant and finance this year.
Okay.
So I'd like to put myself in for that, if that's okay with you guys. We need a liaison for the road department and the transfer station. We're going to be doing double duty.
Didn't I do that last year? Yeah, I did that last
You
year.
did that last year.
Okay, I'll do that this year.
You'll do it again? Okay. Wayne, you had also roads and transfer. I really kind of think it's maybe not as necessary to have two of you doing it.
I mean, I'll do whatever needs to be done.
Okay, how about the fire department?
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to also do, Joe, you've got the roads. I'm going to ask Wayne to do District 1 roads. That's where there's going to be a lot of work this coming year.
Okay.
You know, lots of things are being planned. That would be Will Langley. If you would, you know, just get with him.
Sure.
I'll do the town hall until Kim is around, and then I'll see if I can get her to take it. And the only other department that may be in would be land use. Is there going to be a lot of changes in that this year? You know, they need a new secretary there. So, land use intrigue you?
You want me to do that?
What intrigues me, I'm still learning.
Okay, Joe. Land use, Joe.
So the thing is to get a list of what he plans, new things, or just his needs, or
Yes, exactly.
needs and perhaps his,
Right, remember the stuff we got from the fire department when Roland was here? We need to know. I do know before he lost his secretary down there, one of the things that he really wanted was a computer system.
For the fire
And I
department?
think I think I'm using the wrong word. He wanted 3 computers that spoke to each other.
For the fire department?
No, this is for land use.
Land use.
Yeah, 3 that spoke to each other, something he could tell, you know, have a notebook in the car. It came right
Yes.
back to the office.
Yes.
And-
We discussed that.
And he needed new ones. And I think, I'm not sure, so take this with a grain of salt. He might have said, I know the fire department wants a new phone system, which hasn't been talked about. And I know
Wasn't it phones? I think it was communications. It all fell under communications, but
It
I
all
think it
did.
was phones and,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So that way, because there was some sort of glitch where they had equipment that wouldn't speak with the other towns, and it was very complicated.
It was a very complicated system
Yep.
for them to use, so, and I will type this up formally and let you know, you know, this is your job, this is what you said you'd do, so, this time when we do this, I would ask you to dig a little deeper and find the scope of the work that you want done, because that's something that the departments want done. What is, like, well, you just said, the fire department, good example. You know, things don't talk to each other the way they should, it's cumbersome. We need to know that, so when we,
So you're saying scope of work as to more of a why is this needed type of thing?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and here is Tom. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Good.
So, anyway,
That's okay, you sit up there, because I gotta be...
Come on
yes,
down.
please come on down.
Evening, everyone.
Thank you for being here.
I'm late,
Hey, that's okay. This stack of papers is for you, actually.
Okay.
What we've done so far is just our welcome, and big surprise when I told them we needed to elect a chairman.
Yeah.
they pointed, you know. And we've just gone over capital improvement liaisons to the departments, who's doing what.
Good.
Kind of thing. So, and that we want to really be in depth on not only what they want, but the why. So, and that's about where we are. So, anyway. We have a lot of follow-up to do, because a lot of the things that we looked at that were in our report, which you have, if you go through that stack of papers, and it says in red, Capital Improvement Committee outline. This is the Reader's Digest, again, version of what we gave the selectmen in the spring.
Okay.
Okay. Some of this has been done, which is wonderful. Some of it hasn't, but it's nice. Some of it is in the works. So that's nice when you can cross things off your list. So keep that handy. I think it would go easy if you looked at that, and you can pretty much go down through I'm gonna ask you to, we still don't have our new fire truck. That's money spent. And, Tom, do you have any idea what's going on with the fire truck that paid for?
It's being assembled, the last I heard. All the, whatever was coming from Europe has been delivered.
Oh, wonderful.
And so the chassis and the parts are there. We haven't paid, of course. I don't know, there may have been a deposit, but we haven't paid.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of, but it is out of our budget now.
It is
I
what?
believe, it's out of our budget now. We have the money.
Yes.
But we haven't paid them.
That's correct. So, at the selectmen meeting, there have been a couple of inquiries about it. I haven't heard anything further about when that will be completed, the estimated completion date, but I would assume we'll be receiving it sometime in the next few months. Let's hope so. So,
That would be nice.
I'll check on it and find out where it stands.
We're gonna ask you a lot of questions tonight.
Okay.
Okay, we know we're in the process of getting a new chief, that he has to come in, he has to
Yeah.
get his feet wet, he has to,
Yeah.
you know, and so if we don't know who that is, I mean, unless it turns out to be somebody who's very familiar, we don't know that yet. But, I know they were talking about replacing engine 1 in 3 years,
Okay,
and that's another 500,000.
all right.
They were talking about ambulance 1, which could end up being a $400,000 deal, because you pay for they call it the bus, and then you pay for everything that goes inside of it.
Okay,
So,
all right.
you know, these are our things. They're talking, and then we're not gonna look at the things further out right now.
No.
Okay.
No, let's not.
We're not gonna do that. So those are two things we're gonna just,
Okay.
Wayne, we'll keep, you know, give the new fire chief his chance, you know, and whatever. And even if you just bring coffee and a donut some Saturday, introduce yourself and and get to know him and tell him why you're questioning him. That would be really a good thing.
Wayne, you have the fire department?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. On the next page, municipal properties, we know that the siding on the rear of the building has been done, and it looks great. We know that wiring and electrical, all is gonna go on hold until we have and determine what kind of an assessment we're gonna have. Okay, Same goes for the gym.
Yeah,
Now, there had been talk last year about the parking lot.
yeah.
I personally think bigger decisions have to be made first. And, you know,
Like what?
well, if the gym building goes,
Yeah.
that could put the whole scape of the
Sure.
parking lot different.
I think we talked about waiting until the assessment was done.
I think so.
The gym building will be, hopefully, we'll be able to make a decision once that assessment is in.
Yeah, that's great. Other things we have, I wish Kim was here, because there are some landscape corrections. We didn't put a money value on them. I know
Where
they
are those,
haven't been.
here?
Right out front,
By the memorial?
right by the store and
Oh,
going in.
okay. I
where
wasn't
the
aware of
ramp-
those.
Where the ramps are,
Should have, they were on the list, so.
where the ramps are, you can hit your toe and go flying.
I gotta tell you, this whole landscape and parking lot, I believe, I know we've talked at a selectmen meeting about engaging a site engineer to come in, look at the whole site.
Right.
Consider landscaping, et cetera, so, I'd assume that would be taken care of as part of that project.
Right, and then this kitchen was something else that Kim brought up, the kitchen in the hall.
The kitchen and,
This place.
okay, yes.
This entire,
Oh, and the hall, okay,
and the meeting hall.
yeah.
Again, some of that needs to be assessment, some of it, we know what it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Bathrooms evidently are not up to ADA standards. I don't know that either.
That will come through in the assessment,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I'm glad we put in for that warrant, to get somebody out here to do that. Well, this is everything. And I did hear, I know the school is going to upgrade their lighting.
Yeah.
So when we have when we have all the ingredients to bake the pie, that might be in it too. Lighting for in here, in this building.
All right.
All right, that takes care of that. All right, land use, that would be the next one. And land use is going to be Joe, is their liaison.
I see.
They need an updated filing system. And Jason would like to replace the computers that are there. They're old, they're slow. But he would like, he said there's a Dell business laptop, and they talk to each other. He could have a notebook in his car, and it would be in the office. I think we have to be mindful of land use, but I believe that has to be on hold until the department is settled down again.
And I'm not sure what the requirements are, but these computers look very expensive for desktop, so, but perhaps, I assume they're connected to the network for the town, so, these look like they ought to be about $1,000 a piece rather than $4,500 a piece.
Well, it looked like he was also including the, software and whatnot
Yeah,
that is needed for whatever
Oh, okay.
he needs for software to do his,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah.
which I know from my experience, that stuff gets expensive when you have to purchase licensing and things.
Right. Again, not a dollar, but something we have to be aware of. And we did say at the end of last year, we were giving the new superintendent time to settle in.
For the transfer
For the
station?
transfer station. And Joe has the transfer station. And, sorry about that. And I think that still holds. We'll give,
I've asked, I met with Robin, and he has some projects in mind, and I asked him to simply get a very brief or quick assessment from Will about the feasibility of the projects and generally what they might cost, so that he could bring them forward to a selectman meeting and talk about them. One is where the metal dumpster is.
yep,
He wants to extend the road out the other side so you can drive up and go out and exit without having to back down, which is not a good situation.
Right.
The other is he wants to add an entrance to the transfer station, probably like 20 or 30 feet from the current fence, so that it would allow people to come in there, not using that road they developed, but
Right.
a new one, and it would be much shorter. And I'm blanking on a third one, but he had a third one as well.
There was something about the wall at the construction dump site needed to be shored up.
Yeah, just after the regular
Yeah,
trash hopper, the
After that
demolition, the demolition dumpster, right after the,
Oh, that is what he was talking about, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it,
He was
okay.
gonna dig out about 30 feet back from the present dumpster, the metal one.
right.
Yeah.
Give more space, not only for the road, but the storage of refrigerators and stuff. And I think the thing is, you almost have to over-plan, because like you've seen what in the last 2 years, what the town has done as far as, forget about the COVID thing, but
growth.
just expanding, people coming and stuff like that, so, and it's coming. So it's gonna, eventually it's gonna get more and more intense.
Good. So those are what we have, and I think what we'll do is we're gonna wait to hear from Robin. Hopefully, it'll be, within the next few months, for him to go to the selectmen, and then we can start work. Rec department, there's stuff in the works there. I believe they've taken care of some kind of a storage, building or shed of some sort.
They've been, when it was clear we couldn't use the gym any longer,
Yeah,
I suggested that they get a storage shed and locate it down at the athletic field. I know Sam is working on one. I haven't heard the details of where that stands now, but they're expecting to bring one down, and it's gonna be on, there's not gonna be a slab, it's simply gonna be on some kind of footings that they're gonna, block or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's not gonna be a
cinder block or
slab.
something.
Yeah.
But then we'll have something, okay?
Yeah.
Of course, in our thing, we do have a director now. Unless there's a problem, I think the toilets are probably working out for them.
Aren't those porta potties?
Porta potties?
Yeah, I've not have heard of any issue, nor
Okay.
is anyone suggesting anything further that I've heard.
Yeah, parking lot is something that's in the works, I believe.
I think there's, I think I heard from one of the other selectmen, and I agree that we ought to bring in a site engineer to do that properly, and just make sure it's being done well. And address the egress to the road to make sure everything's according to code.
Yeah.
So,
I know
our
they
plan
did
is
some
to start that
clearing.
this spring. I'm sorry?
Right.
I know they did some clearing on the opposite side, and I didn't know if they were intending on using that to expand parking or...
I'll embarrass them, I don't know exactly where the site is. Everyone seems to agree on where it should be.
I was curious
just
because I
don't know
saw
where
it get
is.
done, and I was like, oh, well, that'll be
It'd be
nice.
to the, if you look at, you're the playing field,
Yeah,
this is the entrance existing now.
yeah,
Got the whole length of the field
yeah,
down to the left.
yeah, okay.
You'll
The
see a
other-
red gate.
The other gate.
In
Okay,
that area, they've cleared an area.
We gotta
I don't
get
really
this
think it's
done.
big enough, but
we've got traveling teams coming in here.
Yeah.
I didn't look Saturday, I understand there were a bunch of teams coming in, and so I'd imagine there were people on the street parking and on the road, and we gotta
was-
fix this right away. So,
Drive by it every day. It was,
was it busy?
it was overflowed, yeah.
That's what I thought, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Okay, and, we're gonna leave it at that, okay? Community needs, that's gonna be down the road. We have enough on our plate without, going there. Roads, of course, we know the replacement of the culvert is on the front burner right now.
yeah,
Row Bridge, even though I renamed it Rue Bridge, but Row Bridge on the Hopper.
How should that be spelled?
It is spelled,
Is this the correct spelling?
no, R-O-W.
R-O-W, thank you.
Well, with an
I
E.
keep seeing this and...
I know, that,
Fine.
that, you know,
All right.
anyway, that's gonna be raising its head this coming year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You just drive over it, you see that. And again, that's gonna be, money. Now, the other two, and on this, there are, you know, needs of the, as I said, the road, committee on the large report.
Is that the one that are we coordinating with Wakefield as well with? Talking about
No,
the
that's-
cement bridge in
that's-
front of the dam?
Milton.
No, that's, Milton.
Okay,
Row Bridge would be Milton,
okay.
yeah. And, you know, that's gonna be something, and all of these things that we see say to us, we need to be putting money away for this. You know, we need to make that part of our everyday appropriations, you know, to really husband the taxpayers properly. We need to make sure we're not surprised when something happens.
Sure.
We have to, and I have wondered if, in fact, instead of putting money away, I wish I had one of these things, you know, so much for dams, so much for this, so much for that. And Tom, you have the experience in this, we're gonna really pull on you. If you just put in X amount of dollars into capital improvement without making it a, I'm looking for,
Designated.
sorry,
Line item,
Designated.
a designated fund.
yeah,
So you have a fund that grows, hypothetically, you can put in 50,000 a year. So you've got, you know, a bit of money after
Yeah.
not too long that can be used for capital improvements. Not necessarily, okay, 10,000 for bridges, 25 for buildings, this for that, instead of designating it. Because I get the feeling that you might end up taking from Peter to pay Paul in that case, you know?
well,
I don't know
I
what
don't
the
think
proper thing.
the funds, especially if you're going out a year, then you probably ought to be able to designate them. But if you're identifying things you need to acquire or refurbish over a 10-year cycle, you have no idea when those are going to be needed
Right.
and at what cost. I think the whole idea around the capital renewal study is to look at that long-term and call it 5, 10 years. And
Right.
they can go out longer, but probably 10 years long enough. And it says you're gonna need X amount of dollars over that period. And so you're systematically putting money aside.
Well,
And then
that's-
as you need something, you can draw on it. But, the funding of that would need to be approved by vote.
Right, of course.
And the use of it would need to be approved, but having the study is key.
This is key, that,
Having the study and then having the funds, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
That way
it would
when
be,
these
it would
things
be the town's responsibility, you know, I would be an advocate for making sure the funds were there. If everyone agrees that these are reasonable projects to be thinking about in the future, it would be foolish, I think, to ignore that and not put that money aside. Because
Yeah.
it's just gonna fall on people in the future, and we're gonna have to borrow or something, when if you
Right.
plan now, you won't have to.
And can you set the money aside in such a way, like say the road bridge replacement fund, $50,000, 2022? And then when you get the
Designated.
undesignated funds amount, and it's $3 million, 50,000 of it was from the bridge fund. Could you take that undesignated fund and break it up into the things, okay, well, you got 150,000 for road bridge, 150,000 for the transfer station, 150,000 for sand shed and things.
Yeah.
And so I have it all broken down into that, and then the rest would be left over from, do you understand what I'm saying? So when people say, well, we got $2 million in the undesignated fund, but we really have $50,000.
I don't think of the undesignated, I don't think of the capital improvement fund, which is what we're talking about, creating a capital improvement fund that would be supported by a study of our facilities that says this is what you need to be putting aside systematically. And that balance would be outside of or excluded from my perspective, the undesignated fund balance, because those are designated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the undesignated truly has no call on it whatsoever. So,
So you'd have two funds, though.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
One would be
like-
designated and one would be
It's like you have the
undesignated.
fire department capital reserve.
Same thing.
right.
And the fire truck.
All the stuff that we've collected and planned on,
Yeah.
we say, okay, based on the target dates that we think we'll need these,
Yeah.
you should be putting away this much a year is what he's talking about. And then you also have a fund for the generator went again.
Yeah.
We gotta replace that and, okay.
Now,
well, we
personally,
have
I think we should be doing this for roads too.
yes.
I think we should have,
Yeah.
I'd love to see an assessment of the roads, much like we're assessing facilities.
All the way around.
Understand what our capital renewal needs are over time and make sure that we've got enough money. Because
Right.
at the moment, I think we've got undesignated fund balances well in excess of our policy. And
yeah.
so we're gonna have to decide what to do with those. There'll be some that will want to see that used to reduce taxes, but I think we ought to know what our capital needs are before we do that. And if we have money in excess of what we think reasonable capital needs are, then, that may be an appropriate use of it for tax reduction, but I think
one of
until we
the-
know that, I would not recommend it.
One of the things that came up, I've just heard a little talking about, was, do you know if the school got their second boiler?
Yeah, I've heard they have.
Okay.
I saw that on the list. I thought it was already done.
The one boiler was done last year.
Oh, okay,
And they-
maybe that,
But they need a second boiler. The other thing is, for this fiscal year, they need a kitchen freezer, which,
Oh, yeah.
$7,000, a dishwasher at $20,000. And I have heard them talking about the roof.
for a cafeteria, those may not be, I don't know, but those numbers don't surprise me.
They don't surprise, oh
No.
my goodness.
I mean, a dishwasher that can handle all the dishes, I assume they're using
And hurry up
plate and
and
silverware
sanitize
in the
them.
cafeteria. Those machines are expensive, but
Yeah,
you know what, it will be bid out regardless, so if
Right,
it's less,
but I mean,
great.
those were kind of like, when I think of the boiler in that building,
Yeah,
they can't go without the second boiler,
they can't what?
Go without a
Thought
backup
that the
boiler.
boilers were done, but maybe I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
One was done, and then they appropriated the money out of the last.
Oh, okay, but how do you get a school cafeteria shut down? Improper sanitation in the cafeteria
Yeah.
or something, you don't want that.
No.
But anyway, those are things that we need to look at them, but we need to go forward, and we need to, which I'm coming to, bring in the, assessment for companies. In closing this particular subject, I think we should just, we've got a 50-year plan from the fire department. We didn't do it, here it is.
That's great.
So terrific, but I think we need to go out to, as far as we would go out would be 2035, okay? And what we say today needs to be reviewed next year, just like, the things we're taking off. The other most important thing is we need 4 new members on this committee.
I was wondering, aren't there did some
Kim.
members not show up today, or is
Kim
this
didn't.
it?
I didn't hear from her at all. I
From
sent her
who?
to Kim Stacy.
what would,
She's on the committee.
oh, she is, okay.
Yes.
Are there any other members that
No.
didn't show here tonight? Oh, so there are 4 members then?
4 members.
Oh, I see, okay.
Okay, so going over that, that's pretty much, you know, everything that was there, which brings us up to the facility assessment.
Yes,
Okay, I had, a while back, sent a request in, probably incorrectly, but anyway, you all have a copy of it, with the names of companies.
yeah, I have it here.
Good, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody should have one.
Yeah.
That, I pulled out. One of them actually came from Tom, a company that he pulled out. You know, these were just like that, and one is,
Is this Veritas?
yeah, Veritas. And, I pulled these off to give you guys to look at.
Is that their proposal?
Well, this was last year.
I understand, but
Yeah.
the reason I ask is Jennifer, at the last selectman meeting, handed me what I think she had gotten from you, and was
More than likely.
suggesting that this was going to be an RFP. I said, no, this is not got enough detail in it. So I think do you have an extra copy of the Veritas proposal?
I have it all online, so I'm happy.
Could you send that to me, please?
Yeah.
Because I was gonna take that, because I think it lays out the scope of services. Is that right?
It's all here.
Okay, I was gonna take that and just kind of
Okay.
drop it into the RFP.
Yeah.
Because I think, as I recall looking at it, it did a nice job of
Right.
describing.
And the other company that I talked out, I called people around, was Plymouth Engineering
Yeah,
from Newport, Maine.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel Engineering.
you gave me those. I have those.
Yeah, you should have those.
I do.
And you can share that afterwards with Joe. And when I called these companies, just to see if
Yeah.
this is what
Yeah,
we
sure.
are, this is
Yeah,
what
that's
you're
good.
looking for.
Thank you for doing that.
And it was actually Mr. Emmanuel
Okay,
on the phone, and it was like, oh, I'm too old to do that, but have I got a guy for you?
Yeah.
I mean, very,
at his firm?
at his firm.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
good, good.
And, you know, it's,
We may not, we want to get the RFP out.
Yeah.
I told Jennifer I'd have it for her tomorrow night. I may not get to it tomorrow night, but within...
It's out.
Not
It'll
tomorrow
get
night,
out.
a week later, we'll try to get it out and,
Yeah.
and issued, okay?
yeah. Now, there's one thing that has come up that is a bit bothersome, is all the work was done to look at the town property,
Yeah?
and that should have an S on it, town properties,
Yes,
not just this building,
that's right.
okay? And all
my
I hear is
understanding.
this building, this building. No,
Huh?
it's not just this building,
That's correct.
okay, because,
And I think the quote that we got from that one firm included the school.
yes,
And so I've talked with John about that.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to him again about it, but I'd like to include the school.
Have that.
no, this is from Bureau Veritas, the engineering company. Oh, yes, you do
Stuff you
have
gave me
it.
then.
You do have it, yeah, good. Sorry.
So I'd like to include the school in that as well?
Yep.
So any sort of physical assets we've got other than roads.
Right.
Should be included.
Now, one of the things and excuse me, I want to, oh, no, we're fine. There's another group coming in here tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, we have plenty of time. And all of us, I think Wayne maybe has more experience, really, on this facilities assessment, you know. They may have to call in other people, you know, from the same firm. You know, this guy, he does
Yeah, sure.
building maintenance, he does blah, 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 but somebody else might do the electric or
Yeah.
the whatever. So I think that getting the 10,000, which is what we asked for on the, in the article, and we got it, should cover anything, a really good starting place, you know?
Have you looked at the warrant that was approved for that?
Yeah.
What is it, does it talk about town properties, town complex, hall complex? What does it talk, what does it describe it as?
Gosh, I'd have to go,
Because that's gonna guide it. I'd like to see it include all town properties, but I wanna make sure the warrant language covers that.
right.
I thought it did, except for the school. I don't think we included the school.
Yeah,
Okay, well, if it,
I mean, because the school is a big project in itself.
yeah, but if they're willing to do it at that rate, and as long as,
Well, it might be a little bit more, but it would,
I think it
but
was-
at least it's a it's done. You do everything except for the school and say, why didn't you do the school 5 years?
yeah, I don't have a copy.
I believe the quote from at least this one firm included the school, did it not? Or at least that's what you told me, Joyce, maybe I
Yeah.
misunderstood it. Well, we'll straighten that all out, we'll get as many things done as we can.
Right.
And,
But they came in, oh, I don't see the school here, but they came in at $8,500.
500, yeah.
So I cannot believe that with 10,000 appropriated,
Yeah,
I mean, it would be, you can't be penny wise and pound foolish
No.
on these things. You get it done one time.
you know, it would be up to the selectmen, but
Yeah.
I would be supportive of doing everything.
Yeah,
Okay?
at one time. Good, because, you know, every time I hear, oh, we're gonna do this building, it's like, please, you know?
Yeah.
Let's not, I don't want this committee to start having a reputation, oh, you want to spend money, you want to spend money. That's not what we're saying. We want to save money.
But I'm not sure that's an issue, Joyce. I don't know if
Good.
you're hearing that, but I'm not, so.
Good.
And I don't
I'm glad.
feel it, so I wouldn't worry about it, but
Good,
you never know, somebody may say that, but.
yeah, but I just, you know, and we certainly have some things to spend money on recently. We certainly do. But this might be one of our shortest meetings. I think we've covered a lot. Joe, is there anything you want to bring up now?
Nothing that I can think of.
Okay. Wayne, you're gonna follow up with the paperwork again this year?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you guys give me, I'll do my thing.
Do your thing with it. Great with spreadsheets and such.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So that would be perfect. So, I do want to get us on a regular schedule, and because we are, today, tomorrow, first day of fall, let's have a meeting in a month, because then it's gonna be Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we won't get together
Sure.
again for, you know, a couple of months.
Okay.
So you're gonna change it to Tuesday, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 o'clock on Tuesdays.
Yeah, what's
Doesn't
it-
the warrant and finance, they meet on Mondays usually, don't they?
They meet on Mondays.
Yeah.
Who's in here next?
So,
The Republican Committee
Oh,
at 7 o'clock.
okay. At 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from me?
Thank you.
Nice seeing you all.
Thank you,
See
Tom,
you.
very much.
so what do we got there? We got So 4 weeks would be the 18th of October.
Fine, let's do that.
5 would be the 25th,
Yeah,
towards the end.
yeah,
So, what, a half a dozen on the other.
yeah. Let's go to the 25th.
Okay. Same bat time?
Yeah. I want anybody who can do anything on I've gone online to see what a complete facilities assessment is.
Okay.
And that's where I think you have a better idea of it than I do. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I can pretend.
Good. That works for me. I think that would be,
I'll do some educated winging, how's that sound?
that sounds perfect. But, you guys look at this stuff.
You want me to research doing what now?
Yeah, when you're scoping a job, facilities assessment, do the research on that and bring it back. Joe, if you can talk to Robin,
I talked to him yesterday.
I know about getting,
Early in the morning, I was talking to him.
Okay.
And I just said, what do you think? And he's coming up, in other words, by being there and doing, I talked to him over by the metal thing, I talked to him over by the compactor and everything.
yeah,
I just happened to be throwing stuff away and whatever, so like this, that. So I was just getting a feed to see what he was thinking, and he's coming up with ideas, you know? But that's his job.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's like, in the entrance, they're trying to get the entrance straightened away. It's the one putting the one down below, we already have that, so he wants to actually make that an entrance.
right.
And you go out the existing one, which is,
Yeah, and, you know, as soon as the fire department is settled, we need to revisit there.
yeah.
So when we can, because what we're gonna have to do is take our list, the Reader's Digest one you have, is take off what we can take off and put on whatever new stuff came in. And while I love being in a meeting with two gentlemen, which is very nice, I don't want my voice the only one to be heard, okay? So I want you guys to, you know, the information you get, you know, and,
We'll look around to get other people to be on this committee too.
yes,
Let me talk to a few people, you know, I don't know if we can get Ann McEachran to get, she's got good insight.
yes,
And then, I'm just thinking like in my neighborhood, you know,
yeah.
so it's,
Ann McEachin's a very nice lady, and, you know, she'll be good. And if you know anybody from your end of town, I think it's awfully nice if we can be,
yeah,
because it's easy to have, you know, focused vision.
Sure. I mean, there's places that I don't go very often, I don't
Exactly,
go down Hopper very often, all the way through, and,
right.
you know,
how do you go to work? You go through Sanford?
I hop on to 109 and,
You work,
Right, yeah.
So you go right through town,
all the way through town and down into North Berwick. I take the back way once in a while to switch it up and change scenery.
My limitation seems to be to Walmart on 109. And then when I'm going anyplace else, I'm on the hopper all the time into New Hampshire. So those are things, you know, lakeside living, yeah, and
Yeah, I'm
the
going
transfer
over
station.
to New Hampshire, I'm going over the canal and
Oh, yeah.
going out that way because it's quickest for me. It's
Right,
spitting
right.
distance from where I am.
So I think it's, you know, just as we're saying, we each see different, so if we can get a few other people, I mean, in the first book we have, that Michelle Rumney had given us, up to 5 people is a good number to have. And,
You think Roland would be interested in coming back?
sorry?
Roland, do you think he'd be interested in coming back?
No, no, I already asked. I think, you know, people just have to know that we're here. And like I said to Tom, we're not here to spend money. We're here to, in fact, save money, be prepared to spend money wisely. You know,
And any money we do spend, we're investing in the future.
We're
of the
just trying to
town.
make sure that it's visible of what
Yeah.
all the projects really are, so that it's no
Exactly.
surprise, and other people are aware, you know, other departments and stuff are aware of what other departments have for
Yes,
projects and things. It's good information to have.
right,
Because I
exactly.
think that's part of the problem, that nobody knew what was,
Gotta start taking them
you know, they drill the well.
here and bringing
Who made
everybody
the decision
together.
to drill the well? Now we have a polluted well. We have 2 polluted wells.
Yeah, yeah,
That was a poor decision, so.
yeah, I don't believe it's our, whatever, to get into the, okay, 1 polluted well, 2 polluted, okay. Our thing is, let's make it right. Move forward,
Yeah,
let's make it right, you know? Doesn't mean all kinds of high-fangled, you know, systems to run the water through and, I mean, practically having a whole water plant. Or does it mean find another spot and dig another well? You know, find the most reasonable, logical way to do what we're doing and make sure it happens that way. I mean, as we get older as a committee and longer on this, all of these say that capital improvement has a much stronger voice in the follow-up and things like that, you know, of what's going on. Now, we were not involved with the windows in this place, but, you know, and that was one of the things Jennifer did with, I assume, another, you know, she was given her orders from selectmen, and she did that, and she watched everything. I mean, she is the watchdog for everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, so she did that. And I think once there's a better symbiotic relationship, that's the kind of thing that somebody from capital improvement can report to her. Hey, this is what's being done. This is not what, you know, you took to the selectmen. You know, this guy's trying to use cheap material or whatever, you know, like a watchdog.
Sharing the load.
You know, on it, and I think, you know, that would be a very good thing. And I think it would bring more people together, you know, that way. But anyway, so, guys, this meeting has been a blast. Please don't be afraid to talk. And what we do next is up to you. I'd like a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you. Good night. Virginia, thank you.